Hi, friends. So, how you doing with quarantine? How you doing at home with the kids during quarantine? Today I'm doing okay, but last week not so much. I wasn't really proud of the way that I was handling it. And if we're just getting to know each other, my name is Aubrey, and I've been a yoga teacher for the past almost 20 years, and I've been cultivating all of these tools for my own mental sanity because I do all of the things that I do to calm my own inner crazy. And I've been gathering all of these tools for so many years. And last week, I have to say, I was pissed off because I didn't think I had any of the time or any of the space to use any of these tools that I've been cultivating, like yoga and meditation and journaling and so on with the kids home. I didn't have any of this time or space. So, you know what I decided, friends? I didn't want to look back on this time as a time when we were in a living hell together. I wanted to look back on this as the time when we got closer and I was able to share more of myself with my children. And if any of this is resonating with you at all, please give me a like, give me a wave, give me a thumbs up or something, because I would love to know if any of this information is helpful. Okay, so first things first, this is what my family is starting our day with. So, right when we get up, we have a family meeting and we have some time just to gather. And then we all do our movement. The boys are taking my dogs for a walk. My husband and I are doing some yoga together. So first things first is figure out when you can fit movement into your day on a schedule, on a regular basis, on a consistent basis, so it keeps a rhythm. So what we're doing is the boys are walking the dogs every morning while we do yoga. And then we take bike rides, 1 mile bike rides, a quick mile bike ride in between each learning session. And then here's the fun part, guys. And then later on at the end of the day, I'm doing another yoga session with my kids because yoga has been a means for me to maintain my sanity. But let me tell you the trick though, friends. Let me tell you the trick about doing yoga with your kids is you have to stay on your own mat. What do I mean by that? Of course you stay on your own mat. Okay, this is one of the biggest lessons that we learn within yoga is the moment you pay attention to what someone else is doing on their mat is the moment you get out of your own headspace, you start comparing yourself to others, and usually that's when we get physically injured. Okay, well, I'm on my mat next to my kid and I'm a yoga teacher and I see he's not doing what I'm doing and he's not doing it right. So the moment I correct him and get off my mat and get on his mat and tell him how to do it right, guess what I'm doing? I'm injuring his autonomy. I'm injuring his self-esteem by telling him that the way that he's doing it isn't good enough. So what do? I show up on my mat and I do my own practice. I stay over my breath. I stay on my body. I don't worry about what they're doing. I've set the expectation ahead of time that we're going to be here, we're going to do this, and I ask you to do your best, and that's all that I ask for. So if they've told me that they're doing their best, and I'm correcting them and telling them they're not doing it right, then I'm injuring my children's self-esteem. So it's just as much of a practice for me to allow them to be. Allow them to learn their own lessons and to simply lead by example and to show them what it's like to stay present and focused and in my body on my mat. So that's tip number 1, regular movement and figure out how to work it into your schedule on a regular basis. Tip number 2 is daily stillness. And I know that sounds crazy, but when we calm our bodies and when we rest and when we get off technology for just a little bit and allow ourselves to hear our inner quiet, hear our inner whispers, hear wisdom. Wisdom doesn't come from Google. Wisdom comes from your quieting your mind enough to hear that internal voice. So every day after lunch, we have 10 minutes of quiet time. We set the timer, 10 minutes of quiet time. I told the boys, Mama's gonna meditate. I don't care what you do as long as you're quiet and as long as there's no technology. So my kids are just laying and resting on their beds. We're all taking a moment of time to go inward. That's tip number 2. Tip number 3, and my last tip for you, is gratitude. Gratitude is the pathway to joy. And let's just face it, all of our kids, including us, many of us are having to make sacrifices right now. It's really, really easy to get ourselves into some sort of like a victim mentality where this is like happening to us, and we can feel really down about all the things that we're missing out on and that we don't have. And the best way to cultivate joy in our lives is to focus what we're grateful for. So every day after lunch, the boys and I, not after lunch, I'm sorry, before we eat lunch, we write in our gratitude journal something that we're grateful for every day. Those are my 3 main tools that I use in my life: movement, specifically yoga, but movement, meditation, and rest, and gratitude. And so I've taken those 3 main tools that have been so profound and so transformative in my life, and now we've set it into a schedule where my kids are doing it with me every day. And so I strongly encourage, if you are having a kind of going a little bit crazy in your mind too, and need to pull in a little bit of structure to be able to share tools with your children. You know, I don't know about you, but like having a vodka at like 4 o'clock sounds really tempting. But doing yoga together might be a little more productive for both of us, for all of us. So I hope this serves you well. If this was helpful, please let me know. I miss talking to you guys. But also, I've been working on my book a lot lately. It is going to be birthed sometime, hopefully within 2020. It's going to be a little bit more challenging right now when the kids are home so much. But if you're not, if you haven't given me your email address, pop it below or send it to me in a direct message, because I want to let you know when those first pages are ready to be read. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day. Peace, love, and fairy dust.